Welcome to the Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers of Washington and its monthly author showcase. I'm your host, Mark Miller. Today, I have the distinct pleasure to interview a friend and fellow film fanatic, Darryl Robert Small. Darrell has had an interesting life and varied careers. He's been a successful business owner and fireworks technician. Darrell is also an actor, screenwriter, filmmaker, and producer. As part of full disclosure, I was involved in some short films for his I-5 project, a vignette of cinema along Interstate 5 corridor. We met at Tacoma Filmmakers and the affiliated screenwriters group over 3 years ago. I have followed his unique career ever since then. Darrell, glad you could make it.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to start with a standard question we ask here in the Claw Hot Seat.
Yes.
How did you first catch the creative bug in between all your business ventures? Did you begin as an actor, writer, or filmmaker first?
I had no idea what I was doing. I was 8 months old, and my mom submitted my photo to Diaper Service back in Detroit. And they liked my picture, and so they moved me to be the spokesbaby for Diaper Service. They would come and replace the dirty diapers in your house with fresh, clean cloth cotton delightfulness. Yes. That was my first experience in the for-profit advertising, shall we say.
Who was the actress that did they used her as the little character, a little kid having the pants pulled down for the, I think it was for a tanning commercial?
It was for Coppertone.
Coppertone. Who
and
was
it was
that?
Billboards all over the country, and I think I'm younger than you.
I know. Who was
but
that?
I don't know who the actress was.
Oh.
Some cute little girl. But I know the dog was called, no.
Oh, you don't know what the dog was called? Okay.
Spot.
Spot, okay.
And
Well,
then,
yes.
from there,
Yes.
just to get back to your question.
Yes.
I was in nursery school. Akiva, Hebrew school for Jewish kids. And they needed somebody to come up on stage and play King Nebuchadnezzar. I got picked because I was bright-eyed and
Bushy-tailed?
and didn't seem to mind performing on stage in front of people. So I got to play and sing a little song, and I'll tell you what caught my interest. Looking out at the audience and seeing a couple hundred people looking at me and smiling. And there was something just so captivating for a young 4 or 5-year-old kid. It just caught my heart. I just liked that feeling. It was a flow of energy that I haven't found anywhere else except for being on stage or for performing. So I sang my way through school and decided that music was going to be a career for me and spend a lot of time on stage. And then realized that music wasn't going to be the career for me, and then spent almost zero time on stage for many years. I decided business was something I excelled in, salesmanship. Took it to many advanced levels.
So you have to tell us at least one of your businesses that you were involved in.
I invented some products that are still in use today. I don't own any of them anymore, which is fine. But some people may have heard of BedJet. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Some of my other things were, I liked power equipment. I liked digging in the dirt, and turned it into a career that I made a good fortune on, putting in irrigation systems, in-ground sprinkler systems for homes.
How did you wind up in the fireworks?
Fireworks came about trial and error, shall we say.
Anything to do with filmmaking, though?
I've used the fireworks very minimally in film. They're very dangerous. Professional fireworks are not something that you can just put on a hard hat and run out there with a lighter. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, there's a lot of things to know. So yeah, it's very dangerous. My wife has gently asked me to not
do it anymore.
To not do the larger fireworks. We were doing 6-inch cannon fireworks that would go up, almost 1,000 feet, 800 feet, and the concussion was a lot. It was starting to affect my hearing. I still want to hear my wife's sweet voice.
There you go. Give it another 10 years.
We'll see.
As I participated in your I-5 project.
Yes.
How did you originally come up with that idea?
There are hundreds of filmmakers in the area, from Bremerton to Portland, who make a fine quality short film. 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever it is. Quality is there. High production values, good audio, good visuals, and a story to tell. And they're not getting a penny for their hard work. They'll work on it a week, they'll work on it a month, they'll put 10 weekends into it, and over the course of a year, they'll have an edited version that's beautiful. But they won't ever see a penny from their work. I wanted to have those filmmakers give me 2 minutes of film, 2 minutes of a story, something fun, something funny, something that would make a family feel good to all sit together. That's what America needs right now, is things that bring us together. We don't need any more division. We need things that'll get the neighborhood talking about something fun and funny. Anyway, so I wanted 50 filmmakers to give me 2 minutes each, approximately a 100-minute film, with some little tie-in footage of me basically driving from Portland to Bremerton in North Washington State. And along the way, I'm envisioning these little vignettes, as you like to say, these little tiny 2-minute stories along my path. I see a barn and I go, what's going on in the barn? And we'll do a cut to, and there's a whole 2-minute piece done in a barn. Or I see somebody on the side of the road as I'm driving by and go, oh, I wonder what's going on there. And then we cut to, and we see people on the side of the road with their issues and their troubles. It's just a gimmick, if you will, a ploy to get people to follow into the next piece. Kind of like a Kentucky Fried Movie, a bunch of little pieces of film. I want people to laugh. I want people to feel comfortable with their children next to them. We don't need gore. We don't need porn. We need humor. So that was the idea. On top of all of that, just getting filmmakers to give me film is easy. Being able to market the film successfully and make money, because each filmmaker owns 1% of the film. So I want to make sure that they get back their pennies. Whatever we make for the film, they own 1%, they get that money. If it's $5,000, if it's $5, they're going to get their pennies. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring people together and give them a reason to flourish. What they do with their money, their $6,000, maybe they'll buy a set of lenses for their next film, or they'll buy some audio equipment and get better sound. Whatever it takes, it doesn't matter to me.
Would have been kind of some of the ups and downs of putting this all together.
Well, like I said, there's so many filmmakers making quality films. I expected them to just make me a quality film. I thought that would be the greatest gift that they could give to themselves, is to have a nice quality film in this project. And the hardest part was getting filmmakers who are good at their craft to make a good product. And we had some issues. We had to do some redos, reshoots. Some of the stories, we left it wide open. I just wanted funny bits, and I got parts that were not funny, for a word. We had some that needed to be redone and reworked, but luckily we were able to use the same teams, and even if we didn't like their film that they threw in, we got them to do something else for us, and it's funny, and it's in. Almost all of the 50 films are in. We're not exactly sure how many will be in the final cut.
Okay.
But everybody who's a contributor is still an owner. Even if their film doesn't make it in at this point, they're still part of the gang.
Well, I'm going to have to blackmail you to make sure that my Guido gets in there.
I think Guido's in there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's my only role I've ever done.
You want some coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cream and 2 sugar.
I believe you're one of the original founders of the Tacoma Filmmakers Group.
Yes.
When you first formed that group, what was kind of the vision behind it? Why did you do it?
There was a bunch of filmmakers that were meeting under a different banner called the Kitsap, Tacoma Area Directors, Producers, Creative Artists. It was some kind of mouth word that I could never get straight. So a bunch of us were meeting in that group, and it wasn't open to the public. It was at a bar. So, we had people who were 18 that want to be involved in film, or children, that come in with their parents. They couldn't come to our meetings. So I wanted to change that. And really, I thought Tacoma being a hub, basically a crossroads to get to Seattle or to get to, the peninsula, the western side of Washington, you got to drive through Tacoma area, so up from Olympia. Basically, I thought Tacoma was centrally located in the state and to be of value to the community. So we started Tacoma Filmmakers with that goal, to be free, open, creative, sharing. You need crew, I'll sweep the floor. You need an actor, I'll be Guido, whatever it is. It was also a way of self-promotion, I can't lie. And because of my follow-through, my little sales ability, we've got 2,300 members, something like that, 2,500 members of regional area actors who are still viable, active participants in our community.
And even a few outside the region, if I remember rightly.
I try, it's not like we'd want to exclude anyone, of course. But, how many LA producers do we need up in Tacoma?
Right.
They're not going to do anything for our community, really, other than trying to sell a book or a program or fly up here and charge you $1,000 for 3 hours of their seminar. I mean, that's fine. Do that over there. You don't have to do that here. We have enough of our local people trying to get $25 to help teach you some Meisner method or something like that. Those I support.
Is there any specific type of film genre or type that you really enjoy working over all the rest?
Yes, video. Anything on camera is my favorite type of film. I've done dramas. I really enjoy being able to express a thought, hold that moment, captivate the audience, and then cry. Or I really enjoy being in the audience when a film of mine is playing and listening to the way people laugh. Part of my reason for being is to get a good chuckle out of somebody. So whether it's a silly Facebook post or a conversation I'm having with a friend, I try and at least get some interaction with laughter.
I think we're going to, on Facebook, give you the official title of Captain Pun.
Please don't.
My understanding is that you have a series in the works involving a Captain Winky as a pirate. Are you able to talk about it?
I can tell you everything now.
Oh, cool.
Captain Winky. Here's the story in a nutshell. My name is Reuben. I'm the father of 2 twins, a boy and a girl. They're 17. They're leaving their home soon. They're going to college, and I am having issues with that. My babies are leaving. I can't put up with that. This is the last summer I will have with them as my children. So it's time for me to tell them the secret about our family, and that my great-grandfather was a time-traveling pirate named Captain Winky. He parked his pirate vessel in our backyard. And I take the children out to the backyard, and we see an old rowboat-looking dinghy that's been there forever, and the kids used to play with it. But as soon as we step on it, the pirate ship rises up out of the ground, we turn into cartoons, and now we are free as cartoons to travel around the world and visit wonderful sites. We're basically, the name of the series is Captain Winky's Compass. We're collecting different parts to this compass that fits in the ship called Ricordi. The name of the ship is Ricordi. It's Italian for memories. And basically, the fine line between what's real and what's a dad fantasy with his children in the backyard playing games is kind of shrouded in a little bit of mystery. We don't actually know if we're going to swim with the hot tub Japanese snow monkeys, or we don't actually know if we're going to Brazil, to go see some wonderful sites over there. So, but we do travel around the world in cartoon form, taking snapshots that are actual live action photos that we intersplice into the film. It's basically Dora the Explorer through time and space with children and an old man.
With a pirate.
I get to play 2 roles.
With a pirate ship.
With a time-traveling pirate ship, yes.
Cool. And
flying time pirate.
What is that going to be shown on? Is it?
That is, we've got it on 3 local PBS stations at the moment. When it goes national,
I might get to do more interviews every now and then, maybe.
Okay. Darrell and I both work with the Blue Forge Group, which supports all of the visual and literary arts, not to mention music and the print media. And one of the short stories that I've written for Blue Forge, a character is based on Darrell. The story's name is Vile Smut. Any comment, Darrell?
yes, many comments.
I'm waiting.
I'll tell you off camera. I've got fingers for you, buddy.
Actually, the character is based on the fact that he is going to be a low-level mafioso, but he becomes a hero in the end after an invasion of aliens, and he becomes the godfather of downtown Seattle.
The leader of an alternative way of living.
Yes. Yes. If you had a dream role as an actor in a film, what would it be?
Well, everybody wants to be an astronaut, or a surgeon, or a gorilla. You know, those are wonderful things to want to be. I really enjoy being a dad, a father. I really enjoy having a moment where it's actually touching, but you can also turn on a dime and be funny. You know, dad jokes are in these days, you know. I'm starring in a new series called The Walking Dad. It's basically where I just wander around the house turning off lights and grumbling about the power bill. It's kind of exciting.
That's interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting.
I like that idea. The Walking Dad.
The Walking Dad.
Yeah.
Man, made of money, lad.
Jeez. Would you care to share any advice or anything about your misadventures of acting as well as producing in the film world?
Absolutely. You know, it is show business, right? It's a business. I owned a dry cleaners. I owned a carpet cleaning company. I dug ditches for a living. I was a paper boy. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm selling myself 24 hours a day. The moment you the moment you forget that you're out there selling yourself, that your brand, everything you say on Facebook will promote you or get you excommunicated from groups. So don't take yourself too seriously. Be a serious actor. Study your lines. Do what you got to do. But show up. You don't have to sweat. It's a beautiful day. Just be yourself and do what you're asked to do. That's the advice I have. Market yourself and follow through with what you say you're going to do. And the rest is easy. Doesn't matter what industry you're in.
Other than in fireworks, which you just said you're no longer going to do, if you could not work in film and television, what career would you look at as a replacement?
Well, I've changed my life a few times over the years.
That's why I'm asking you this question. Because you're one of those people that have actually been able to change your life successfully.
Yeah. I just find a new page and turn the book over. I have read this, by the way, Mark Miller's books, and for me, I have a fantasy of having a hovercraft rental, finding a nice little bay.
You mentioned this.
Finding a nice little bay or a nice huge grassy area where you could have hovercrafts for rent and play hovercraft soccer, get little teams started across the country. I think that would be hilarious to have people driving around hovercrafts with these huge 10-foot soccer balls, you know, bouncing off each other. I really find that exciting. I love hovercraft. I don't know why. People want to fly planes. That's great. You crash, you could hurt yourself. Hovercraft, you just get wet. So
would you add those odd little flying things where they put the water? Now you can get those jet packs that shoot on water.
Have you seen those?
Yeah, about 50 feet up.
I wouldn't do that personally. No.
Yeah.
No. I'm 53.
Yeah.
I need to take care of this for another 47 years. At least this.
Yes, that's true. What are some of the future projects that you have in the works?
Well, there's quite a few. The Artifact is a science fiction thriller series. Basically, it's about a young boy who gets captured and ends up being cared for by his uncle, who happens to work for the military. And we find that the aliens did some funny things with his genetics. And so as he starts to become a man, some things start changing in his body, and he actually starts becoming more like an alien over time. It's got some really interesting special effects. For what we've done on a low budget, it's quite marvelous. The pilot's out there. It's being pitched to Netflix.
Cool.
What else? The I-5 project should be finished this summer. All of our principal photography is just about finished. It's editing. Gotta edit. All kinds of good things. Automata, you can find on that sci-fi channel.
Dust.
Yes, the Dust Network. It's spelled automata, but it's pronounced automata.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Artistic license.
More than one automaton
Yeah.
is the technical automata.
Oh, okay.
Haikuna automata.
I was going to say, I watched that, and of course you have a role in that, and it surprised me that this independent film company using state-of-the-art CG work that you couldn't tell for the CG. It looked like they had these humanoids, androids type thing with these, that at first you thought there was an actual mask. Find out later it was all done through CG. And you couldn't tell. That's probably one of the few times when you could not tell it was CG. So you basically have these robot type creatures, and it's set in an alternate universe, 1920s and 30s.
Yeah.
And where instead of having a prohibition for alcohol, you have this prohibition against artificial people, which is fascinating. And they did such a good work with the special effects.
It's one of the most visually pleasing things I've ever done.
Yes. And you got to beat up somebody.
Yes, yes. I was a ruffian.
Yes, he did a good job with the ruffian. beating up a poor robot.
Poor robot, yes. You know, with a baseball bat, of all things. Yes, that was fun.
But I was looking at that because Dust has a bunch of other stuff coming out too, a whole bunch.
I didn't really come here to promote Dust, but
I know.
I'll tell you what, they're worth promoting. They're worth at least taking a look at and being familiar with what's on that channel, that network.
Yeah, I think we both agree that when somebody does something right, we don't care who it is, whether it be writing, filmmaking, acting, whatever, we want that person to succeed because that just shows everybody, what people can do when given the chance.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm starring in a competition show coming up here soon. It's America's Best Sperm Donor Challenge or something like that. I actually am donating my male bits to
so they're going to
a family that would like to have a baby with certain characteristics.
And it's going to be like, they're going to be checking the motility and everything too?
Oh, yes. The movability, yes. The swimming, yes. I don't know how they do that. I'm sure I'll find out.
You will.
But
how would the viewing audience get a hold of you if they wanted to offer you a gig?
Gigs are easy. Darryl Robert Small on Facebook, and just send me a text, and I respond. Okay. I have a 1-800 number, but the secretary's busy.
Okay. You don't have any real big, like some people have all 10 gazillion web pages and things like that.
Some people also have agents. I don't have an agency that I work with. I would rather have a manager. So if you would like to represent one person, I would be your guy.
So your wife is not going to be your manager?
No, I've been doing it all myself. I've been doing it since I was 13, selling newspapers. Hey man, would you like to buy a newspaper? And I've been doing it ever since.
Which newspaper did you sell?
It was the Southfield Observer Eccentric newspaper. It came out Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Oh, unique.
Yeah, it was a good paper. Made a lot of money. Bought routes next to me. I was doing it on my 10-speed bike, and as an entrepreneur, I knew I just couldn't get enough houses done, so I bought a moped and doubled my route.
Yes, the moped.
A moped.
Was it a Vespa?
No, it was a Pook.
A Pook? I've never heard of that. That's fun.
P-U-C-H. Pook.
Well, Darrell, I want to thank you.
I'm not done.
You're not.
I got so much more to go.
Okay.
How long is this?
We still got a couple. We still got 3 minutes.
Okay, all right.
You got something else?
No, I don't really have anything else.
Okay. Well, if not, we can add later.
I appreciate coming on your show, and I really like Kitsap. I'm a new resident in the Kitsap County, and I'm finding the people are salt of the earth types.
Yes.
They're good people. King County was great. Pierce County was just fine. Kitsap County is where my heart is now.
So I want to really thank you for coming here to the BCAT Studios. And
Next time I'll dress for television and not for radio.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to be looking forward to your I-5 project, of course.
Please do.
And, of course, if I can ever get Vile Smut filmed, we'll get you in that also.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I know you are, so you need to stay in touch. Anything else you'd care to add in closing with the viewing public?
Do not call me Captain Pun.
Oh, I won't.
Okay, thank you. Might interfere with my Funko doll. You know. Life is good. If you work hard, good things happen to you. I'm a funny guy because I worked hard and I now have fruit to show for it, and I have time to enjoy my fruits and vegetables.
Yes, and with a little bit of meats and candy thrown in.
Have I told you I love you today?
Oh, that's fine. We know that.
There you go. Well, at least I finished my quota for the day.
There you go. I would like to thank all of our viewers for tuning into Bremerton Kitsap Access Television and viewing this Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers production. I also wish to thank the BCAT staff on cameras and in the director's chair. They work tirelessly to make this broadcast a success. This broadcast interview is scheduled for February at 6 p.m. every Saturday evening on Channel 3, on Wave Cable, and Channel 12 on Comcast. Keep in touch with our Facebook pages for updates on what Kitsap author we will be interviewing in the future. In addition to events the authors and other artists will attend in the community. We at CLAW have as a mission statement to help authors and artists become known to the public, to expose their artistic endeavors to the residents of Kitsap County and to the world. Thus, we plan to continue this endeavor as long as the BCAT staff and the viewing public support us. CLAW exists for the artists, the authors, to help with marketing, distribution, and publicity. We meet the first and third Wednesdays every month at the Sparrow's Pizza on Kitsap Way in Bremerton, Washington at 7 p.m. All are welcome. Also, for filmmakers and actors, we have a related group, Kitsap Peninsula Filmmakers, which meets on the second Tuesday of every month at the Family Pancake House on Wheaton Way, also in Bremerton, also at 7 p.m. Everyone is also welcome there. But we are not the only group out there. There are many independent writers and critique groups in Western Washington. Vincent at 724 Studios on 724 Bay Street in Port Orchard is not only showcasing painters, but is also sponsoring local authors reading their works. Also the Blue Forge Group, which encompasses films, publishing, comics, music, and artwork, is a strong supporter of the arts in the Kitsap County area. Part of the group, Blue Forge Films, is assisting in moving many of CLAW's shows to YouTube and other internet sites. Blue Forge Press has been instrumental in helping me and others in publishing our works. I hope everyone has a pleasant day and a productive and fascinating year. Until next time, I am Mark Miller with Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers in conjunction with Bremerton Kitsap Access Television. Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
So, you think he's guilty?
Oh, he's guilty of sin. Wish me luck.
Duck.
Oh, finally, somebody's here. What the hell am I doing here?
You know what you did. Do you think you can get away with it?
With what?
Why did you do it? You stole from these people. We have witnesses. You didn't steal the minute it took to watch this film?